I can't say much for the decorations, but it's got a rustic feel to it, I want to say. Or retro. Maybe even Macadamia? I have no idea what the word is, but it's got a bit of a feel to it, you know? I feel like we're gonna go talk to Jaspar now. That's just me. Oh, we can close the door. Sorry, Jaspar. This is my place. I am really tired. I took a 2-hour nap. How you doing, Jaspar? That is so freaking cool.
Sorry for the drama back there at the house. I guess I just didn't know what to make of the situation.
Where is he? I guess he's down there. Oh god, it's the house again. I wonder what you would have done if I hadn't known the answer. Killed me?
No idea. And please, save the subtle accusations, okay? If I reacted somewhat inappropriately, I'm sorry. But hey, I'm not the one whose corpse is lying around in some old ruin.
Him?
Sorry about that. I'm a little on edge right now, no offense intended. If the High Ones were planning to confuse us, they definitely succeeded. We really should tell the Grand Master about this, and about what happened to Constantine. Still, we can't allow this to get inside our heads too much. What matters right now is the mission. And at least it stays exciting. 2 daring adventurers who have gotten themselves into something they don't even remotely understand are plundering ancient ruins in search of treasure. Don't laugh, but this reminds me a little of my past, of my childhood.
Mate, there's so many things I wanted to say to you, but now I've forgotten them all because you just brought up your childhood. I know something to do with the house and how it screwed me over as well. How so?
Not the part including mysterious corpses and crazed mages, of course. My sister and I, when we were young, we always used to go exploring the caves near our manor. Father always gave us a good scolding when he got wind of it, but of course that didn't keep us from doing it again.
You have a sister. Is she single? But I didn't know that.
Right. Because I never told you. Adela and I are not exactly close these days anyway. Probably because we lost our bond somehow, after our father died.
Your father died. Prematurely, I take it.
Yes, he did. Together with my siblings. Actually, Adela and I are the only surviving Delverics. All the others were murdered.
Holy crap. So we can say I'm sorry to hear that. We can delve deeper. I see. I was beginning to wonder what happened to your family. I'd never heard of any of the other Delverics except for you.
Well, now you know why. In a sad way, a part of me is actually glad everything happened the way it did back then. It made me into a man, and it showed me what kind of characteristics have a tendency to drastically shorten one's life.
Such as?
Stubbornness. My father was a judge in the tribunal, you know. He was a hard man, who at least, after our mother died while giving birth to Adela, lived for only one thing. His principles. Justice knows no compromise. That was his great creed. No matter who stood before him in court, my father treated them all the same. Damien Delveric, the epitome of justice.
It's one of those things where you can agree with them or disagree with them, and he'll react accordingly. Sounds like he had an extreme way of seeing things. He had his principles. That sounds admirable, at least to me. I don't know if we can really judge him just because of that snippet of what he was like. It's a bit strange. Let's think about it. So he had an extreme, well, he was justice is justice, sort of thing. The law is the law. If he's going like along those lines, like there's no compromise, then yes, I agree with Jaspar or Kim. If that's not the way it's been portrayed and I'm seeing it wrong, then I probably might disagree with him. But just that line of justice is justice in the court, no matter who's in there, gets the same treatment. I didn't really make much sense. That wording makes me think that he's going to treat them like criminals no matter who they are. Unless his defense attorney. Crap, I wish I could go back and reread what he said. But I think he has principles. Yeah, it seems a bit extreme if that's the case. If he is saying like there's no room for compromise whatsoever.
Yes, an extreme attitude for an extreme man. One day, the son of a highly regarded Archer Sublime stood before the 12 judges of the court. Valenzio Duran. He had murdered 2 whores, made them happy, as he called it, and it was obvious that he didn't feel so much as a hint of remorse. You know those kind of people. The ones who think that money and power entitle them to anything they want.
Huh. I can imagine how this is going to end. Actually, I can't. I thought justice was justice.
Of course you can. 11 of the 12 judges voted for a verdict of not guilty, because they knew Valenzio's father was influential within the Relata. Only my father, of course, remained unshaken. 1 week later, our manor was robbed by 4 masked men who killed everyone. Servants, guards, my 2 younger brothers, all of them. Officially, they were bandits, who just happened to be running around with blades made of shadow steel. My sister and I only survived because we had snuck out for one of our expeditions. Ironic, isn't it?
Damn, that's pretty harsh. So his father was a good man though, like he had his principles and he stuck to them. Unfortunately, corruption and greed won over him, which is, I suppose, how it is, hey? Like you got the father who you most likely looked up to and idolized as like a godlike figure, and then his life was snuffed out before you, which sort of made you this kind of person. That's really interesting. You most likely wanted to be him when you were younger as well. But because of that incident, it's changed how you view the world and how you see things for a different way, whether it's a better way or a worse way. It's hard to say per se, but I kind of want to say he's taken a bit too much of an extreme view on how this world is, but that's pretty horrible what happened to your family though.
Horrible? None of this is horrible. It was the only logical consequence of my father's actions. And what good did it do in the end? None. As we speak, Valenzio's enjoying himself in some brothel, with 2 whores and a bowl of grapes. But you see, there's no point in being angry about this. And do you know why? Because this is just how the world works. There's no divine justice, no system through which it's decided who lives and who dies. There are decisions and there are consequences. That's it. This is also why there's absolutely no point in fighting for ideals, the greater good, or whatever else you want to call it. First of all, because no one will thank you for it, and second, because people are stupid. That's the one universal rule that there is to this world. No matter how much you try to accomplish something, in the end, stupid people will destroy all you've achieved with no more than a snap of their fingers. Fight for the moment, and the moment only. Because unlike everything else, you can be certain of its truth.
Oh man alive. I'm not sure I really enjoy getting into these philosophical debates with him all the time. You know who he reminds me of? Actually, he reminds me of Geralt, the Witcher. Like, he got into these huge freaking philosophical debates all the time with different people about different things. It was extremely interesting to listen to, but my god, was it intense. Okay, so... well, people are stupid. Isn't that a little generalized? I actually happen to possibly agree with him on this. People generally aren't the most smartest of creatures in the world, most of the time. It's kind of perplexing. Although I'm probably an idiot as well, so I shouldn't really say this. Yeah, people are stupid, and it doesn't progress the thing anyway, so I'm just going to delve into this a little bit.
Do me a favor and read the Chronicles of Vin, then ask me again.
I don't know if I read that yet. I might have skipped through it. Right, I hate to break it to you, but your father did the right thing. kind of did, but he should have known that this guy was pretty dodgy and the consequences would have been dire. So what you're saying is basically that you think your father should have done what? Nothing? You're right, it probably was more about promoting his ideals than real justice. Yes. It's just... It's so clear cut though, isn't it? Because his father was in the wrong to a degree. But I don't really agree with his opposite of his father. He's like, well, chaos will rule kind of thing. His father's all about justice and consequences. And just father's like, well, it's chaos. Things are going to happen. People do what they do. People are stupid. Yeah, I think the middle road, like, so... Yeah, he was definitely probably promoting his ideals rather than justice, that's for sure. I don't think his father did the right thing. He did, but he didn't. That's the thing, like, if he was not putting his family in danger, when you have a really influential bad person who's gonna come after you and kill you, it's not a good idea to piss him off. It's wrong. It's very wrong, but it's just not a good idea. Oh shit. Alright, so we've got two choices, pretty much. What he's saying is basically that you think your father should have done what? Nothing. It just seems too middle road, which I'm kind of inclined to go with. You're right, you're probably more about promoting his ideals than real justice. I want to know what he wants to think, what he thinks that should have happened actually, because I don't think he should have. It's a hard one. It's kind of like that question with the whole entire, you're driving a car. Well, it's like, what is it? The minecart question where it's like going on the tracks, and if you don't pull a lever, it will kill 5 people. If you do pull a lever, it will kill 1 person. But that's more of a kind of, you can justify pulling the lever to kill 1 person because you can blame the lever, but then if you have to push a person on the tracks to save 5 people, can you do that? I feel like that's kind of where this is going, in a sense. Not really at all, actually. It doesn't make sense whatsoever what I just said. But this is definitely a moral dilemma which I'm going through. Let's just choose this one. Go for it.
No. But if he had wanted Valencio to die so badly, there would have been other ways. Poison, an accident, a hired killer. Just a hint of common sense. That's all he would have needed. But of course, none of that would have conformed to his sacred principles. Adela and I were still young when all this happened. A friendly family took us in, and my sister joined the Order of the Apothecary in the Frostcliff Mountains. But since then, we haven't been able to speak to one another. She raised a wall of ice around herself, so to speak, and fled into old family books and memories. But, anyway, enough about me. You're an orphan too, aren't you? How come? You never told me about that.
Holy shit, he knows that Lord Pye's an orphan. Oh, he's told me a very personal story, so... I feel like it's a long story, mate. Where should I start?
You told me that the Creator's temple in Ostian had something to do with it, but what exactly happened?
Well, we kind of invaded it. Right to the beach and the train to George's Park got the train moving. Completed. God.
I see. I've had my share of those kinds of dreams too.
Hi.
In the one I had, I was always walking down an alley in Ark's Harbor. There were figures dressed in rags and veils, cowering next to the walls. And even though I didn't want to, I had to pass by them. And when I did, they started to weep, and all at once tried to drag me over to them. I screamed and I fought. And eventually I came to realize that they all had my father's face. And then their skin would start melting from their skull like hot wax. Not a very nice image, as you can imagine.
No.
One day the dreams just stopped, though. I don't know why. But anyway, enough of this gloomy talk for now. We should get some rest. We've still got a long ride ahead of us. I don't say this often, but I like working with you. You're okay. You really are. Good night.
Good night, Kim.
Rise and shine, my friend. We have arrived. How'd you sleep?
Are we in a dream state again? Oh gods. My bad, I meant to move the camera. How one feels after having discovered one's own corpse, the whole thing in the temple, I just can't get that out of my mind. Yeah, or we can say, fine, how long have we traveled for? No, that one.
Well, for what it's worth, neither can I. Come on, let's take a look outside.
The Lion's Den, that's a 3-star. Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, who is conducting this train? Because obviously this train's pretty smart. Well, it was made by the Parians, so it's pretty smart that it's able to sort of go to the station and stop of its own accord. It's pretty amazing. I'm pretty sure that our technology today doesn't allow for that, although you got driverless cars now, so it's definitely getting up there.
Seems someone has prepared a welcome for us.
Oh my. I was gonna say, this is obviously based off of me living in Australia. A somewhat backwards country, if you want to say. So, oh god. It's probably not right of me to say that driverless trains aren't a thing, because they most likely are in different countries, and I'm just ignorant. You're just ignorant. At least we can kill these guys quickly, because that was quite a few. 26% dark if you're. That was a lot of freaking skeletons to take on in one go. I'm really amazed that we managed to kill them all without dying over and over again, although my health is certainly not looking the best. Do you have any bread or something? Something by weight? 180 seconds, good gods. Not very long, but it'll certainly do. Okay, got that up and running. Let's check these guys, because they always have good stuff, except that bow looks like not a very good bow at all. Seems like they weren't carrying any good gear on them, which is fine with me actually, because I don't think I have the capacity to carry a huge load. Where's Kim going? Kim! Don't! Kim just ran off without me. He's probably like, oh my god, Lord's Pie is just diddly-daddling again, I'm just gonna run ahead and wait for him over there. Which is fair enough, mate, but I gotta explore. You never know what treasures and secrets you might find. Like, I found a wall. If I hadn't gone up here and looked up here, I would not have found that wall. And I feel like that wall has enlightened me ever so slightly. For what cause? I don't know yet. It will make itself available later on, I would assume. Nothing over here? Oh, what's that? Just a bit of sunlight. Well, good thing we came by during daylight. Actually, that's a good point. We're burning daylight here. Ooh, we're on the island now. This is good. What's going on, Kim? I kind of forget what we're doing here. We're here to just get intel, aren't we? Regardless of all the hurdles and bizarre events, Constantine's plan worked out. We arrived on the Moon's Shine Island without anybody noticing. Now we have to hide the silver plates in the enemy's camp. Oh yeah, the plates, so we can listen on them. That's right. Yeah, I'm not a sneaker. I don't do the sneaking thing, Kim. This is gonna probably be really badly for us.